Then we come to the gravitational potential. Okay, children. So what do you mean by inertial mass? Dia, what do you mean by inertial mass? Inertial mass.
The mass of an object can be defined as amount by the second law of Newton. When a force F acts on a body and acceleration.
Okay. Gayatri, just to say a hello because I cannot hear you.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am.
Hello, just say hello everyone.
Hello, ma'am.
Okay. I'm not able to hear you. Hello? I hope you are able to hear me. Correct? Okay. So I'll continue because I don't know. I am not able to hear you. So anyway, we are moving on to gravitation. So gravitation inertial mass means if you find out the mass of the object by the equation F by A, then we can, or on the basis of Newton's second law, if you find out the mass, then we can call it as inertial mass. But the same way gravitational mass means if you use the equation gravitational force of attraction, from that equation you get it, then you are able to find out the mass that is known as gravitational mass. Okay, so shall we go to gravitational potential? So gravitational potential is the amount of work done in bringing a body from infinity to the given point in the gravitational field of the other. And we started doing, and in this slide it is x, we have learned in terms of r. So children, instead of taking, last class I told we can take it out r square outside and do. So since you are not studied the integration, we can also do the same work done. So work done dw is equal to infinity to r, that is equal to infinity to r. I think up to here we have learned that is equal to gm. 1 minute. So we were discussing that is if m is equal to 1, then gravitational potential is equal to, I'm not going for the beginning, we just start from where we stopped. That is from infinity to r gm by r square dr. So the first case we can do both ways. Either you take it out r square, but since it is in terms of integration, we can also integrate 1 by r square dr and then we can get the same answer. And that will be more appropriate. So what I'm going to do, we are only taking out gm now. So integration you are not studied because it is a +2 portion. So you can just learn, I think I have given this equation before, that is x raised to x dx is equal to, this is the equation we are following, x to the power of n plus 1 into n plus 1 within the limits a to b. So this is what we have learned. So I remember I give you this expression. So we are going to follow the same expression. So you are getting here 1 by r square dr. What we do? 1 by r square dr also a standard value in dx in plus 2, but we are not going for that standard value. What we are going to do means r square, we are taking it up. So what is our equation is going to be? Integral infinity to r to the power of minus 2 dr. Because you are going to get the same method here. So at present, since we have not learned the integration better, we learn this equation, we apply this. So here, instead of minus 1 by r square, no, so that is what I have written. R square, take it up, it become r minus 2 dr. So plus 2 become minus 2. Now you can substitute this equation now. That is equal to so that is equal to, apply that equation, then you will get this is equal to x raised to n plus 1. Therefore, r minus 2 plus 1 divided by n plus 1. So that is minus 2 plus 1 within the limit infinity to r. Now what you will get? Gm r raised to minus 2, you will get r raised to minus 1. And here also there is a minus 1 is there. Okay, that means within the limits infinity to r. Now what is the next step? Next step, take it r minus 1 down again, and you are going to get the equation is minus 1 by r infinity to r. Take this minus out. Then minus gm 1 by r. This is a, this is b. According to upper limit, according to integration, we have to substitute this upper limit and lower limit value in r. Then it will be upper limit minus lower limit. Therefore, minus is out. What is our upper limit? R itself. So there is no change. Now, lower limit instead of r, you can apply the infinity. And you know 1 by infinity is going to be 0. So this is how we can make it as the lower limit 0. And finally, what is remaining? So same equation you are getting, integrating 1 by r square also. So this is gravitational potential equation. I think this is more clear than before. So because there is a evidence for how 1 by infinity is going to be 0. Okay. So I think this you follow than the first one. So this is more easy for us to, because we are applying the integration to all. Any doubt regarding integration part, children? Maybe this is new to you because this 1 by r square, because we are not learning maths. So in physics, always small work done in terms of differentiation, generalizing that for entire quantity, we are going to get it in terms of integration. Okay. So after completing this, you can write below that. I hope you completed. Okay. Can I change? Those who any doubt, the problem is I cannot hear you. Anyone did not understand, just raise your hands so that I repeat. Okay. I cannot hear you. That's the problem. Don't know. Okay. Shall we change it? Okay, I'll change. Okay. So we are not yet completed. So this is for unit mass. Now what we do? You are generalized it. Therefore, next line. Therefore, gravitational potential gravitational potential for any mass of object Vg is equal to minus Gmm by R, where m is equal to 1, 2, 3, any number of object we can use this. So we have proved it for 1 unit mass. That's why your equation become minus Gm by R. Suppose if there are 2 objects, so it is not going to be 1, then you have to have this term m there. So this is the final generalized equation. So we derived for unit mass. Now we generalize for any mass of object, either between earth and object or between any 2 objects or whatever it may be. Clear? It's a gravitational potential. So it is the amount of work done for bringing a unit mass charge or bringing a unit mass charge in the gravitational field, or it is the amount of work done for gravitational attractive force to experience by any object in that particular field. So that is known as gravitational potential. Then final statement, what I said, the negative sign indicates the Vg decreases with increase in R. That statement remain. So last class, Saturday, we have discussed that. So that statement remain, that is negative sign indicates Vg decreases with increase in distance R. They are inversely proportional. Mass and gravitational potential is directly proportional. Mass and gravitational potential directly proportional, but R and potential is inversely proportional. So now next term we are going to learn is gravitational potential energy. No derivation. So we have just learned the definition and then we will write the final equation. That's all. No derivation for you to study. So what do you mean by gravitational potential energy? As we know, we can write the introduction statement. As we know, the potential is the work done. Potential is the, you can just write Vg. Vg is the work done to bring unit mass. As we know, the work done, Vg is the work done to bring unit mass from infinity to R, since the force involved here is attractive. The force involved here is attractive. Work is done by the force. The work is done by the force, not by the object, but by the force. Then in a particular position and in a particular position or rest or at rest of a unit mass or at rest of a unit mass m, at rest of unit mass m, rest of unit mass m, the gravitational potential gravitational potential is stored as potential energy. Stored as potential energy. Bracket you can write work done actually is equal to energy. So this is what we have learned in 10th standard. Work done is the energy is the capacity to do work. So if an object is not moving, whatever is the gravitational potential experienced by the mass, it will be stored in the form of potential energy. Thus, for a body of mass, for a body of mass, small m, body of mass, small m, on the surface of the earth, 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 potential energy is equal to minus gmm by r. So instead of or, we can write it minus gmm by capital R, bracket capital R is the radius of the earth. So since we are defining this in terms of surface of the earth, the distance between the object is now turned into radius of the earth because we are on the surface of the earth. This potential energy is known as gravitational potential energy. This potential energy is known as gravitational potential energy of mass m due to earth. So this is the standard equations. Now this is the potential energy of any object on the surface of the earth. That means our. Now you are at a particular position. You are not moving. So the gravitational potential energy, what you experience now, it is minus gmm by divided by capital R. Table, chair, anything on the object on the surface of the earth is experience this same amount. Clear? Now just imagine what will be this potential energy experienced by a satellite. Just imagine a satellite is revolving around the earth, and at a particular point satellite stops, or satellite is at rest at a particular point. Just assume like that. Okay, maybe now the time is 9 o'clock. At 9 o'clock, there is a geostationary satellite moving around. Geostationary means which is making us to understand the weather forecast and all. So this satellite and earth position is in a straight line. Just imagine at this particular time, 9 a.m. what will be the potential energy of the satellite. So for that, it is not necessary, it is not enough. You only measuring the distance from R. What we have to do? We have to, again, you have to measure. Suppose this is our earth and there's a satellite is above the surface of the earth. Just talk about a satellite A is above the surface of the earth. So actually for any object on the surface of the earth, the distance is the radius. But between satellite and the earth, it is not only R, it is also radius of the earth plus the distance between earth and the satellite. That also we have to consider. Okay. So in that we consider the distance between the satellite and the surface of the earth is as h. Then instead of R, the equation will be changed into R plus h. So that is the difference. Okay. So this is for any object on the surface of the earth just like us. If you just want to find out the gravitational potential energy of the aeroplane, which is just at a particular position in the sky, or any bird or any satellite above the surface of the earth, then we have to add radius plus between the earth and the surface. So we are going to modify our equations in terms of H. And we also have learned in our work energy power chapter, potential energy is equal to mgh. So you see from where the H is come. So this is the reason. So this gravitational potential energy and this potential energy, they both are same in terms of it. Okay, that is how we solve the problem in work chapter. That is potential energy of an object at a particular height, it is equal to mgh. So we are going to get a relation between this and this, both are same. Okay, so write down. So I hope you understood. So write down. Consider the same mass m. Consider the same mass m is taken to a height h above the surface of the earth, above the surface of the earth. Above the surface of the earth. Then initial potential energy at surface of earth. Initial potential energy at the surface of the earth, that we have learned, that is equal to minus gmm by r. Then final potential energy after taking to a height h minus gmm by r plus h. Let us take it as this is r initial potential energy. Let us take it as in final potential energy, E0 and EF. So instead of r, it become r plus h. Thus change in potential energy is equal to EF minus E0, that is minus gmm divided by r plus h minus of gmm r. So gmm by r is very common, so we can take it g minus gmm. Minus gmm, take it out. You are remaining with 1 plus r plus h minus of 1 by r. Because there are two negative sign is there. So we are taking out this minus, but still this minus is remaining. That's why. Instead of making this is at a plus, we can just take out minus of common, then we take it. Okay. So we are not going for the further explanation. What we have to do means we are take to LCM and all that. Lot of things are there. Finally, we are going to get the answer. Finally, we will get. I am going for final answer, that is gm r square into mh 1 by 1 plus h by r. Just write down this final one. Gm by r square mh. So after taking LCM, taking it something is the r square outside and so many things are there. So we are not going for that. So Gm r square by mh 1 by 1 plus h capital R, not small r, h by capital R. Next line. See, consider h by r is very, very smaller. than capital R. Just think about, if you consider the radius of the earth 6,400, satellite and all may not be that much away from the earth. So that is why we are taking h by r is very, very much less than capital R. Then we ignore the term h by r. Then we ignore the term h by r. Thus, now, thus, gravitational potential energy of an object of unit mass at height h, we can write it GPE is equal to, GPE stands for gravitational potential energy, GPE is equal to h by r term is not there. So if h by r term is not there, then it is turned into 0 because it is very much less. So we take it as 0. So 1 by 1 plus h by r, you will only get 1 by 1, that's become 1. So which term is remaining? Gm r square mh. This is the only term is remaining. And we have small g is equal to gm by r square. Now by combining this, what is the final GPE? You are going to get mgh itself. Now you see the same equation what we have learned in the work power energy. It's the same answer we are getting now here. Okay, so mgh is the gravitational potential energy. 9th standard we are only just learned the equation. We didn't see how you are going to get the equation mgh. So here we have learned how mgh become a standard equation for any object above the surface of the earth. So GPE or simple potential energy, I already taught you there are two types, GPE as well as elastic potential energy. Correct. Elastic potential energy comes in terms of spring, and this is comes when object is above the surface of the earth. So we are getting the same equation here. Clear? So that is about GP. Any doubt, children? Anyone wanted me to repeat? So I've been not going for the detailed derivation because no need of that one. You only have to learn how this become into equal with the generalized potential energy. Okay. So in this all chapters, whatever I have taught you, you have to learn the definition and as well as the final equations. Now what I'm going to teach you next, that derivation you have to study. Okay. So this is, I am just explaining how it got only. So you don't have to worry about the total derivation of gravitational potential energy, not need of it. Clear? Now, whichever I am going to teach you now, we are going to see variation of acceleration due to gravity at a particular height, particular depth. How acceleration can be changed. We know it is a constant value 9.8, but still I already told you there can be some variations in terms of fraction. So how it can be varied depending upon above the surface of the earth, inside the surface of the earth, that is what we are going to learn. Clear? So we have already completed gravitational potential energy. We will start the next derivation in the next class. So I will not start now. Let us see, we can do one simple problem using all this. Clear? Okay, write down a simple problem. Mass of the earth is, first problem, mass of the earth is 81.5 times the mass of the moon times the mass of the moon mass of the moon, and the radius, 0.27 times. Mass of the earth is 81.5 times the mass of the moon, and radius 0.87 times and radius of the moon, and radius of the moon 0.27 times that of earth. So 0.27 times is the radius of the moon. Evaluate G on the surface of the moon. So you have to find out. I already told you, moon's gravity is 1/6 times of earth gravity. Moon's gravity is 1/6 times of earth gravity. We have learned in 9th standard that. Okay, so now we are going to evaluate what will be then acceleration of due to gravity on the moon. So that is the question. So we have at the surface of earth, we already learned G is equal to Gm by R square. That answer we got it 9.8. For the moon, mass of earth is 81.5 times the mass of the moon. Correct. 81, mass of the earth is 81.5 times mass of the moon. So it is just ulta is given. So it is not multiplication. We can just write it is mass of the earth divided by 81.5. That is the meaning. Mass of the earth is 81.5 times the mass of the moon. Usually what we write, mass of the moon is 81.5 times of earth. That's what we write now. So this is ulta. Mass of the earth is 81.5 times the mass of the moon. So that is why it becomes m by 81.5, because gravity is 1/6. Okay, that's why. And radius of the moon is given 0.227 times the mass of earth. So you can write 0.27 R. Okay, so you do it. What is the next step? I'll show you the step and then you do it. When you come on the next class, we will see the answer. That is G moon is equal to, Gm is given 81.5 into 0.27 square. 0.27 R square. Okay, this you can write it as, take it R squared out, Gm by R square into remaining one. 1/81.5 into 0.27 square. Okay, by what? Gm by R square 9.8 into 1/81.5 into 0.27 square. Okay, yeah. So you do it and see whether you are getting the answer. You will get the answer 1.65 meter per second square. That is acceleration of the moon due to gravity of the moon. So check it whether are you going to get this answer. We will discuss at 1:45 class.